Guys, we did it. We did it. 48 hours ago, we hit 250 subscribers. Thank you so much, my A1 day ones. And anybody new here or is just passing through, welcome on in. Nothing too terribly exciting has gone on in my life. I am out of room to store my diamond paintings because my bookshelf is like chock full of them. So here's what we're gonna do today. Anime tag questions. Let's go. All the things that you see here, if you want to know where I got them, links in the description. So, question number 1. What's your favorite anime? I feel like that should be pretty obvious at this point. Sailor Moon. Because, long story short, my grandma back in Cincinnati, she would take me to the YMCA to go swimming every summer. And then when she'd come back, it'd be time for her to get dinner started. And what came on at 4 p.m. Eastern on Cartoon Network? Toonami. And guess who had that time slot? Sailor Moon. So, yeah. And she made the mistake of letting me watch that one day, so I was a goner. Question number 2. Has any anime ever made you cry? Yes. No hesitation. Well, I mean, I didn't mean for any hesitation with that, but yes. Naruto multiple times over, depending on the arc. That isn't the only one, though. Your Lie in April. Oh my god, that was such a tearjerker. I want to say, like, Inuyasha, some parts of it, the first go-around have made me cry. Especially, like, the first time I had finale'd it. Like, not just a season, the whole entire series, like, how that all ended. I was just blown away. But those would be, like, the top ones that have made me cry. Oh, yeah, and then Fairy Tail, too. Okay, I lied. So, there's some more, but, like, Fairy Tail, depending on, like, the arc and stuff like that, and then what was going on in the series, that also just, like, made me cry. Number 3, which anime made you laugh the hardest? Like, this may be relatively unexpected, but, Full Metal Panic Fumofu, it is an OVA, which stands for Original Video Animation, and what OVAs are, according to personal experience, but also backed up by Urban Dictionary, they are the offshoots of an anime series. Like, maybe the team had some extra funding that they got to put towards some goofy stuff, or there were skits and things for the anime characters that they wanted to basically make into a little mini-series. That's what an OVA is. And I swear to God, like, I laughed so hard, like, during Full Metal Panic Fumofu. But the kicker with that is that you have to essentially watch the whole entire core series before you can even understand that. And then if you can make an anime spinoff of anything, what would it be? I mean, I could have been way too young at the time, having watched it the first go-around, but I watched it again back during 2020, so, you know, quite a few years later, and, like, with adult brain, and that still left me feeling like there should have been more in that series, because you're talking about bounty hunting and treasure hunting in space. There's so much that could have been done with that. Also, I wouldn't mind seeing a series of like Food Wars The Next Generations or something where like we get to see Erina run the culinary school. Also, I feel like Erina and Soma should have totally gotten together at the end. Like, totally would ship those two. And by ship, you're basically saying that these two should be a couple. Like, there were clear signs in that. I don't know if the manga actually had that written in, if they, like, hooked up or not. But, I mean, like, the signs were freaking there. Like, comment down below if you actually know if they got together or not and you read the manga. Question number 5. List your top 5 animes. Considering how I discovered anime at the ripe old age of 4, I feel like that is a really, really hard question. I guess, like, these would be my more recent favorites in, like, no particular order. I mean, Sailor Moon is always gonna be my all-time favorite no matter what. Like, that was just straight up my, descent into otaku land. But, you know, Fairy Tail, my boyfriend made me watch it, and it grew on me over time. It's just, it has a lot of action. It's got a little bit of romance and stuff like that. Like, yeah, I would have to say Fairy Tail. Inuyasha, because it's like that, again, it has a little bit of everything to it, to be honest. Same with Naruto. And then number 4, you may not have heard of, but Bakuman. And of course, some honorable mentions would be Blue Exorcist, Demon Slayer, of course, Tokyo Mew Mew, Rising of the Shield Hero. Like, there are so many animes that I love. Like, I straight up spent like a few days thinking on that one, and I'm just like, God, that is so hard to answer. Number 6. List your top 5 anime OSTs, aka original soundtracks. Fairy Tail, Madoka Magica, like, because the music definitely set the tone for everything, and that's what you're gonna see from these. Sailor Moon, Inuyasha, and then, albeit not like an anime, Hazbin Hotel. That's another series where I absolutely love the original soundtrack to it. And my criteria for this is, have I gone through YouTube Music and like actually gone out of my way to look these up? And these would be the series where I've gone to look up their soundtracks. Number 7, have you ever watched an anime in one sitting? Well, almost, but not quite. So back when Demon Slayer only had 1 season to it, I probably could have done that one in a whole entire sitting. I just chose the wrong day of the week to start that, because I actually started watching that on a Sunday, and how well season 1 is written. Well, I mean, the whole entire series is written really, really well, but just like everything that happens in season 1, how almost every other episode ends on a cliffhanger, it is just like, it wants you to like keep on watching. And I feel like if I would have started that on a Friday night, I would have easily gone like all the way into the wee hours of Saturday morning, and I would have just finale'd that sucker in under 24 hours. It is totally binge worthy. And then number 8, who is your favorite anime character? Well, that's kind of like asking me to pick between 500 of my besties. Like honestly, that question is like is just like insane. I cannot answer it because like thinking back on everything that I have watched over the years, it is just like honestly, nothing comes to mind. Like I cannot pick a best girl from an anime. I cannot pick a best boy or best animal. Like I don't know. I can't. I don't have a favorite cuz um I basically I basically like a whole bunch of characters and things, and it's just, yeah, sorry, don't have an answer. Um, Number 9. Name an anime character you absolutely hate. Oh, I actually do have an answer for this one. So, you know how I mentioned Fairy Tail, right? Well, if you get like really, really deep in the series, like you're almost coming up onto the end, you're gonna run into the Tartaros arc. And one of the members of the Tartaros Guild is annoying as all get out, who has a voice that sounds like nails on a chalkboard and the personality of a cheese grater. I am talking about the pint-sized scientist in the silky white lab coat with the black bunny ears. I am talking about Lammy. Oh my god. Like, honestly, I wish that Igneal would just come down out of the sky, like just literally put Agnologia on pause, go down there and torch all 800 of her freaking copies. She is the most annoying thing. I honestly wish that I could just pick her up and punt her like a football into outer space and have her be like Team Rocket blasting off again. Anyways, question number 10. Who is your favorite moe anime character? Well, this is one of those questions that kind of like dates this whole thing, because the anime community, like, and just anime lovers in general, do not use this term anymore, because this word has had a few interesting turns. Go look that up on Urban Dictionary. But for the sake of all of y'all watching anime history and coming, moe is often a term used pre-2010 to describe young, cute anime girls or cute anime characters, essentially doing things for cuteness sake. People usually will say kawaii and just as a replacement for that now, which is the literal Japanese translation for cute, or if they are a little bit older of a character, they will say that they are waifu material. So basically like fantasy girlfriend, fantasy wife material. And my favorite moe character is Madoka from Madoka Magica, because throughout the whole entire series, she hears about magic. She talks to other people who have gotten powers and who have become magical girls. She doesn't particularly have anything like special going on in her life. Like, no guys are like really interested in her or anything. But she is just like, she just wants to use magic and like have those abilities just for the sake of. And in spite of like what anybody tells her. She just has this sense of, like, this very innocent, like, naivete, childish wonder about her, and her visual, like, her graphic design is so cute, and the fact that she, like, just believes the best out of people, it really just, like, personifies moe for me, even though we don't say that anymore. So, question number 11. What's your favorite anime? What's your favorite drama anime? Well, to be honest, because I think a lot of these questions were like around 2010-ish, just based off of how they're written. Just about any series can be, like, thrown into drama. But some good ones would be Rising of the Shield Hero, Full Metal Alchemist, Masamune Kun's Revenge, Blue Exorcist, and, although more anime adjacent, Ruby. They all have a little bit of everything. Like, they all show different locations. They have romance, they have action, they have, oh gosh, especially Full Metal Alchemist and Rising of the Shield Hero, like, the mechanics of how their abilities actually work, like, those are some pretty interesting mental gymnastics that were thrown in there by the writers, if I do say so myself. So, number 12, what is your favorite romance anime? Well, that is actually a toss-up between these two series, Sailor Moon and Inuyasha, because nothing says I love you more than it not working out the first time, choosing to reincarnate so that you have a second chance with your soulmate, and then going through that entire second life to essentially find them again and make things work and take out the BBEGs. Yeah. And, throw in a little bit of time travel and stuff like that. Oh, yeah. Like, nothing says I love you more than reincarnating and crossing space-time for the one that you love. Number 13, what is your favorite comedy anime? Well, besides the Full Metal Panic Fumofu, I would have to say the OG Naruto, so, like, pre-time skip Naruto, because he is your number one knuckleheaded ninja. He is going to do, like, Looney Tunes, off-the-wall things, like he graffitis Hokage Mountain. He, oh god, there was, like, that one episode early on where he, takes Sasuke hostage, but then he also had the bad milk, and it just, like, it completely goes sideways. And, of course, the 1,000 Years of Death. Oh. What's your favorite action anime? God, that is so hard to answer because I just named off a bunch of them. And yet at the same time, sometimes even, anime sword fights just kind of also seem like a dime a dozen. But, ooh, like, that is a toss-up between Naruto and Fairy Tail and Shield Hero and Blue Exorcist, because like those fight scenes get like super duper crazy. But if I want a break from your stereotypical like anime sword fight, then I typically will venture into the realm of big robots. So Gundam, again, Full Metal Panic will be good too. I don't know how in the heck I watched Gundam Wing, because those early on Gundams, like they're kind of hard for me to watch nowadays, but the more recent ones like Iron Blooded Orphans and The Witch from Mercury, like those are actually really, really good. So number 15, what's your favorite anime harem? High School DxD, hands down, no hesitation. Y'all can look them up on Crunchyroll. Google at your own risk. I don't want to get canceled. Moving on. Number 16, what's your favorite adventure anime? Definitely Fairy Tail, because they have some interesting locations that they travel to when Lucy has her rent due. We've seen tropical islands, we've seen frozen wastelands, just neighboring cities and stuff because of their grand magic games. Just, they just in general did really well with their world building and stuff. So if you're wanting that as adventure anime, that's a solid choice. I would also say Konosuba is a solid choice for an adventure anime as well. And number 17, what was the first anime that you ever saw? Well, I kind of already answered that, like Sailor Moon. Sometimes, depending on the traffic with coming back from the YMCA, one could have potentially argued Dragon Ball, because that was the time slot that came on before Sailor Moon. But I want to say that Sailor Moon, because Dragon Ball was something where I didn't see it a whole lot. I want to say that it was Sailor Moon, because occasionally we would get back early, but basically the heavens would have had to have aligned for that one. Um, What is the most times that you've rewatched an anime? Well, I want to say Bakuman. I rewatched that probably 4 to 5 times at this point. Sailor Moon, that is gonna be more times than I can count. Same thing with no, Sailor Moon is actually more times than I can count now that I think about it, because all the time spent with grandma as a kid, and sometimes that'd be all that I would watch in the afternoon. And then when Supers came out and they had the whole lunar eclipse special, yeah, my grandma knew. There is no fighting me. We're gonna sit and we're gonna watch this. But I mean, she couldn't blame me, because she was actually starting to get into the series too, and she's like, oh yeah, the last one, I remember her saying, like, at one point, oh yeah, the last one totally ended on a cliffhanger. We need to tune in for this. So, yeah. Thank you, Grandma. Good times, though. Good times. Number 19. Name one anime that you wish everyone would watch. Oh, goodness gracious. That is so hard. I would say that it is a toss-up between those two. So I've mentioned Bakuman a few times now, and you're probably like wondering, what is Bakuman? Like, I haven't heard of the series. What is it? It is the story about two young boys who meet up in junior high. One of them is a writer, and they want to be a mangaka, so a professional manga artist, but they cannot draw, and they want to find somebody who draws. So there is this other kid in his class who was just like doodling away in a composition book about the girl who he has a crush on. Like, he's absentmindedly just sketching her, and his stuff is like golden. Writer dude basically says, like, hey, like, we should make manga together, and we should also make a pact that we go full stop on our careers, and once we had made it to the top, then we both, like, try to marry the girls that we've had a crush on, like, all this time. And the girls eventually find out, and then turns out they like the guys. And they're just like, well, we're going to go full stop into doing our careers, and we will see if this comes to fruition in the future. And it shows them, like, all going through high school, and it shows, like, the whole publishing process for anime, everything from, like, doing the roughs of it, the storyboards of it, to getting serialized and then getting an anime adaptation. Like, it is very educational about the whole system in which anime is produced. And I think that it is highly fascinating for that aspect, but also the series is just, like, really feel good, really wholesome, and it just has been encouragement for me, like, whenever I've gotten super depressed, that I just need to keep working, and I just need to, like, go for it with everything that I have. And I feel like that is a message that at times can be, like, sorely lacking with the shows that we have right now. I also say that everybody should watch Food Wars for the same reason, but you'll want to watch that while you are eating food, because this series will make you hungry. I mean, after all, it is about a young man, Yukihiro Soma, who is helping run his family-owned diner. His dad decides to travel the world. The diner closes up shop, and then Soma, he is thrust into Japan's most exclusive culinary school, and the goal that he has is he will make the top dogs at the school say that his food is delicious. And he wants to prove that just because he started out in a diner, he still has merit in the culinary world. And of course, he faces like so much backlash from like the gatekeepers of this school and everything. And they throw so many uncalled for obstacles his way. But he just like persists and perseveres through all of them because he knows that in his heart that he will get the entire, like, he'll not only get the whole entire student body, but the whole world will recognize his prowess as a chef. And I feel like there could have been a little more to how the series had ended personally, but the core message is still there that if at first you do not succeed, try and try again. Number 20, what's an anime series that you regret watching? Oh, okay. So there is this one that comes to mind. It's called Magical Girl Raising Project. And what that was a anime where people had a 1 in 10,000 chance of winning a lottery. And if you won this lottery, you got powers and you became a magical girl. And you can maintain your powers by making the leaderboards, like, you know, like you have to save so many people, do so many good deeds within a given amount of time. But if you do not, then I think it was written that you would like lose your powers or something. But then it all changed around episode 4. The writers decided to up the ante. So they wrote in the series that the city was becoming overpopulated with magical girls. And then they're going to turn it into a life or death tournament where you had to get these magical candies, and then they would count them up at like the end of however long. Whoever didn't have enough because they didn't like do enough good deeds or whatever, then they would not only just lose their powers, but like they would also lose their life. And I think I had watched that during that time where like everybody was going crazy about Madoka Magica and like the alternate endings for all that. And because it was like a little bit too close, I guess, for when I actually watched Madoka Magica, it just like left the worst taste in my mouth. I could not watch past episode 4 of Magical Girl Raising Project. I basically just said, yep, that is like 2 hours of my life that I'm never getting back, and I basically said sayonara. 21, which anime character are you most like? Well, since I started watching anime at such a young age, I would say that I'm probably everything, everybody thrown into a blender, like on liquefy at this point, because I even asked this about my boyfriend, and he just sat there with like, and you could basically tell he had like the YouTube buffering um look on his face where he's just like, can't really think of anything. Question number 22. Do you watch an anime because you think, do you watch a new anime because you think it will be good or because you think that it will be popular? A little bit of both, actually, because I started out on animefreak.tv and some of these like other little offshoot sites before Crunchyroll got prevalent with streaming, and because they are like they've kept their prices actually fairly reasonable for a longer time than most streaming services. I've still kept them over the years, and essentially they are my one-stop shop now for all of my anime needs. If I see something on the front page of Crunchyroll and it's a thumbnail that catches my eye, then I'll go look at the synopsis and I'll read it. If the synopsis is really good, then I'll watch it. But honestly, if it hasn't hooked me within the first couple of episodes, then I probably won't continue on with watching it. There are other ones though where like friends will suggest, they'll be like, oh, if you watched blah 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 anime, then you're probably going to like this because I just watched it and it was awesome. So for example, I mentioned once to my boyfriend, like, oh yeah, I watched Sword Art Online all the way up until this, and then there just like hasn't been anything that's come out for it lately. And he was like, well, if you're looking for something else to watch, you need to go watch Goblin Slayer, you need to watch Shield Hero, and then he just like brought out a whole entire list of like isekai and high fantasy anime, and I'm just like, okay, duly noted, like you're being added to my queue, and you and you and you. So it really just depends. A lot of the time it does come from page one of Crunchyroll, but sometimes it comes from just conversating with family members, either in person or over text if I have ran out of things to watch. Oh, I did not mean to place this many of this color up here. So I am trying to scooch them to where they actually need to be. And while Jaded Gem Shop's adhesive is kind of forgiving, it still takes quite a bit of force to get them to where they need to go. Question number 23, has an anime fan base ever made you hesitant to watch the anime? And again, I feel like this is one of those questions where it is making this set of questions show its age. Like, definitely when I was younger, I would say that, Drills, you need to behave. I would definitely say that there was a few, like the regular show. Well, I mean, like, they're not like anime in the traditional sense, but like just shows in general, like the regular show, or stuff like that, like where I could like not even watch maybe 15 seconds of content or like 20 seconds of content and see like how far downhill writing for American cartoons has gone. And I'm just like, yeah, this is why a lot of people are switching over to anime. And because it's just some of the people who watch those shows like back pre 2010 or right around 2010, it was just like they were acting weird, the show was weird, and I'm just kind of like, okay, yeah, no, we stay away from those people, we nod and we smile and we move on. Like I watched quite a bit of stuff, so there wasn't necessarily a whole lot of anime that would scare me off. I would say that Kill la Kill, like, I don't know, I just got weird vibes from that show. And then Death Note. Death Note I actually read as a manga, and I got up to the part where Light was having to pretend like he was eating barbecue potato chips while he was scrawling inside the Death Note, because he was being actively filmed or surveilled. I just, yeah, like that took like such a weird turn that I'm just like, I don't know. After that, for a little while, I was kind of convinced that folks who watched the Death Note could have potentially been like borderline personality. I don't know, just because of the content of the show. I tried to steer away from that, but after the whole, oh, whoa. Me having butterfingers, guys. It is real life. We're not editing that out. Oh my god. I dropped it and the tip broke. I'm sorry, Enablers Outpost. I didn't mean to be rough with the pen. I need to find the other piece of the pen, and I need to like E6000 all of that together. Like, I didn't know that it would be possible that these things could break over time, but just, oh my god. And this is like my very first pen too. Oh, I'm so sorry. I have another pen of theirs. You know what? Yeah. Like, let me dig it out just a second, guys. Okay, good. This one has a 4-placer in it. This is good to have multiple pens because accidents do happen. I certainly did not mean for that to happen. It just like, I don't know if it was weak in that one spot, but it just like, it fell on the floor and I picked it up and it was, yeah. But that is the first time that has happened to one of my pens. This is another Enablers Outpost that I have. But granted, this one, I have had it since like day one of my channel. I have used the literal bejesus out of this pen. So, yeah. I figured that, eventually I would drop one and break one, but I didn't want it to be like my first ever, like my first ever thing for the channel, like my baby, my precious baby. Okay, so anyways, back to question number 23. Which anime fan base has made you hesitant to watch the series? So yeah, like, back to what I was saying with Death Note, like, because of the things that went on in the manga, I think I made it up to about book 6. Again, like, Light was pretending to eat barbecue potato chips while he was being surveilled for the Death Note. And he, just like the crazy lengths and things that he goes to, it just like gave me like really weird impressions of people who watch the series. Not only that, but I think like a lot of it at the time was, because that was back like about 2008, 2007. I was dressing gothic at that time, and back in those days, people were like very much into their stereotypes. I don't know if it was like the influence of Mean Girls or whatever, but basically I dressed in like punk and gothic fashion. I didn't really fit anywhere, but that's how people saw me as, and I basically like started reading the series like that to essentially hold up that persona. And that could have had a whole lot to do with it, is maybe I just wasn't like genuinely interested in it, because a lot of the time I picked up stuff like Cardcaptor Sakura and Tokyo Mew Mew. Like, if there wasn't anybody that I knew inside the high school library, I would run over to our tiny but mighty manga section, and I would just check out a whole bunch of shoujo manga, and that is kind of how I expressed my femininity without having to break out of the punk and gothic character that I had somehow morphed myself into being and somehow got like stuck in the box of. Yay for super reinforced societal stereotypes and for teenage angst, right? But now that everything has gone on with the pandemic, I'm working from home, like, no one gives two flying flip-flops that I'm dressed just so long that, you are wearing clothes. Like, I don't necessarily judge anymore, because it seems like when we didn't have much to do, we were just essentially forced to sit around and do nothing. A lot of people stumbled across anime, and like just like people that I wouldn't even like assume are nerds, like people who freaking wear like blazers and like twill pants, like office attire, like dressy attire, business attire. Like I'll just see those people like pop up Crunchyroll on their phone and start watching stuff, and it's just like it's beautiful that we're like not necessarily judged for that anymore. And I kind of don't judge people for that anymore. Like my only lasting hang up for anime series right now tends to be length. And I mean, that is because I'm like working on kind of a big one, because I'm easily into the 300s now, or approaching the 300s with Fairy Tail. And One Piece, I do not hate it, but I just the people who watch it give me reservations because like, I don't know, reservations, odd vibes, whatever you want to call it. Like, I just kind of like take pause with those people, because you're watching something that is 1,000 plus episodes long. Like, I know I have dedication to work on diamond paintings and some such, but I knew that if I wanted to dedicate myself catching up on the series and catching up fairly quickly, I would probably be watching nothing but One Piece for the foreseeable future, for like the next 4 to 5 years. Like I just look at the numbers for that and I am just like, that is not sustainable. And whenever certain friends or family members like just turn the conversation towards One Piece, I am just like, okay, I am done. I am checking out. I am like gonna wander off into my room, or I'm gonna wander off into a corner, and bye-bye, come get me when you're done. Number 24, how many episodes is ideal for you? So I would say anywhere from 12 to 25 episodes per season, maybe like 5 seasons or so. So we're talking anywhere from 50 to like maybe 150 episodes. Number 25, have you ever watched something over 23 episodes long? I've got a list. I've got a list 2 miles long. But Konosuba, Ruby, Run a Girlfriend, Cardcaptor Sakura, Bleach, Naruto, Rising of the Shield Hero, it just goes on for days. Oh yeah, and is it wrong to pick up girls in dungeon? I mean, it just goes on and on and on. Would you ever watch an anime that has over 100 episodes? Yeah, I've done so. Dragon Ball Z, Inuyasha, Fairy Tail, Naruto, Bleach. Essentially, all of your heavy hitter shonen animes will easily have 100 plus episodes. Number 27, have you ever dropped an anime, and if so, why? Bleach. So, at the time where I was watching, well, not watching, but reading Death Note, I was kind of watching Bleach as well. And like right about that time, 2007, 2008, Stephanie Myers wrote and then published Twilight, and then it started to catch on as kind of like this fringe, uh I'm so bad, like I have this book about vampires and da da da, like kind of, it was one of those books that had that reputation in high school. So of course, like to live up to my stereotype, I checked that book out and I read it and stuff. Like at the time I enjoyed it. It was what it was. And then right about the same time, I had cleared everything with the Soul Society for Bleach, and like it was just one of those filler pieces of content, I think, that they wanted to do, and there came Bounce. And Bounce are essentially the Bleach version of vampires, and there comes a point to me where I think it just showcases that I have pathological demand avoidance, to where if I hear about something ad nauseum, like right now, for example, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, like I will just go out of my way to avoid it. Like, no, talk to the paw, talk to the hand. If you're going to mention this, I'm going to steer clear of you and will not even go near you with a 39.5-foot pole. like I am just that person. I am very much like contrary to I am just very much like, oh, everybody's doing this, so that means I probably shouldn't do it. I mean, if you had forcibly taken me to the Jim Jones cult, I would have been the last one to drink the Kool-Aid. In fact, no, I probably wouldn't have drank the Kool-Aid. I probably would have been the one like standing in the corner, horrified, with the red Solo cup in my hand as I watched everybody croak, and just be like, I'm gonna find a place to hide. I am totally not. So, yeah, I got to Bounce. I got to Bounce, and as soon as I saw vampires, I'm just like, okay, we're done. And then so question number 28, in your opinion, what makes a good anime? Well, if it has a little bit of everything, but it also has to have a really good, strong plot hook, and plot twists are amazing. Gosh, like Demon Slayer, that comes to mind, or if there's a character who you just like know in your heart of hearts that like they're gonna get their comeuppance, or they're going to have a redemption arc, like, gosh, like his bad behavior has kind of turned me off to the series, but really I think that after I get done watching all of my higher priority things, I should go watch this, would be My Hero. And yes, I am talking about Bakugo. I know he gets better, but just like those first few episodes of him, those are rough. Um, do. But yeah, does it have a little bit of everything? Yeah, Bakugo, he gets a redemption arc. At the end of Rising of the Shield Hero, the princess, she gets her comeuppance. That's all I'm going to say about that. Number 29. Name a popular anime that you love. Well, Demon Slayer. I keep on mentioning it. Writing is super awesome, like tons of action, and the Hashira training just came out. I'm gonna wait until all episodes are released, and then me and my boyfriend are just gonna binge it in one shot. Sailor Moon Crystal, because they did not have as much filler as the original Sailor Moon anime adaptation, and I feel like it's a lot truer to the actual manga itself. And then Blue Exorcist season 3 just came out. I've been watching that, and that has been really good. Yeah, Shield Hero season 3, need to watch it. And then it seems like just about like after a while of being on break, Sword Art has been getting seasons, so I feel like I need to rewatch Sword Art, but I'm kind of, I don't know, I think I'll just straight up diamond paint through those first few seasons and keep that on in the background, because like some of the technological stuff that they mentioned back then and like some of the other things in the show, it is aged like fine milk, and I know that that's going to irk me, so I think that I'll just like straight up diamond paint through the first couple seasons of that, and then after that I don't think that I'll have as rough of a time. So yeah, there's a hint for you if anime is getting slow, like just craft or just like have a stack of socks or underwear that needs to get folded just like as you're watching or rewatching it, and that'll kind of help you get through some of it. Question number 30. Name a popular anime that you do not like. Oh god. I already named it. Nart. I already named it. Bleach again because the bounce, like, it just, they left a bad taste in my mouth because of the whole timing of when I got to that arc, I guess. Um, but I should probably go and see if I can try to get past my whole bounce thing. Um, Number 31. Is there an anime you wish was more popular? Ruby. I know it's not exactly an anime, but its story is really unique, and they legitimately have some really good fight scenes. They have a really good plot, but after I believe I believe it was Monty who had passed away, like one of their core members had passed away, and after that it kind of sort of wasn't the same, I will admit, but it was still overall a really good series. It is sad to know that Rooster Teeth is struggling. I really do hope that they can have an ending to this, because I don't want this to be one of those many shows where they get so deep into it only for like real world stuff to come in and straight up cancel the series. Number 32. Thoughts on a live action adaptation. Go into it with the expectation that it is going to be a different animal, because obviously you're not going to expect a live like human being to go full Looney Tunes nuclear during a fight scene. Because while CGI can do a lot, like, it cannot do everything that somebody with a digital tablet and a stylus can, like, hand animate. Also, the voice actors' appearance and, like, the voice actors are gonna sound a lot different than the actors that they cast. Like, they try to get really close on how they sound voice wise, even better if they can get close, like, for their visual design, but it doesn't always, like, happen. And then number 33, what's your favorite anime straight couple? Well, that's a toss up because Sailor Moon and Tuxedo Mask, because, you know, favorites. But then also Natsu Dragneel and Lucy Heartfilia. Even though at the point where I'm at in the anime, they haven't, like, really said they're a couple or anything, like, as you watch the series, like, the signs are there. Like, they totally, completely are. Number 34, your favorite non-hetero couple, Haruka and Michiru from Sailor Moon. My, like, I don't know, because I haven't, like, I cannot confirm or deny, but here's my theory. Like, just after having watched the series many, 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 many times, is the transformation pen will swap out your gender to female. Because case in point, the Starlights, they're all guys. Or at least we assume that they are all guys. But when they transform into the Starfighters, they wind up actually being women. So, yeah. Like, that is a thing. But no, I think that they are the best, like, example ever. Takeuchi-sama did this right, of, like, being able to showcase that even though your chromosomes say one thing, you can totally embody the energy of the other gender. Because look at Haruka, for example. They race cars. They fly freaking helicopters. They do, like, all of these things that you would expect a man to do. And then you just see Michiru, where she is, like, very elegant, very classy, and stuff, and just, like, she totally embodies femininity. So, yeah, I think that was probably, like, the best example of that we're probably ever gonna have for a good non-hetero couple, is those two. Number 36. Or no, number 35. Your favorite anime friendship, Natsu and Gray from Fairy Tail, they give each other, like, they give each other so much shit. And then 2 seconds later, they can bro hug. Or they can be, like, off doing completely different missions. Somehow those missions overlap. And then they realize they're fighting the same enemy, like, 2 seconds later. And, like, they will exchange minimal words, and yet they will combo each other's attacks so well. Like, it is just mind-blowing. They have that connection where they can just, like, look at each other and nod, and it's a totally, like, I got you, bro, let's do this. Like, it amazes me every time. And then that kind of leads us into our next question, number 36, your favorite anime squad. Well, the whole teamwork thing, it, like, yeah, of course, like, it makes me think of the Fairy Tail Dream Team, heavy hitters. So, Natsu Dragneel, Gray, Lucy Heartfilia, Wendy, Carla, Happy, and Urza Scarlet. Like them right there. That is, like, the essential Fairy Tail squad, dream team, wrecking crew. Yeah. Them. And then, like, the whole teamwork thing, it makes me think of, like, the OG Team 7 before Sasuke left the village. Sure, there were some hiccups, but, you know, if there was an enemy that Naruto and Sasuke wanted to take down bad enough, like, they set their differences aside and they made it work. Case in point, the when the bridge builder gets taken hostage and the whole thing with Zabuza and the one kid in the mask, yeah. Number 37, last anime you watched, Blue Exorcist. It was a recommendation from a friend many years back who used to play League of Legends with me. And it just recently got a third season. It is so good. I have to, like, force myself to stop watching. It is that good. Number 38, anime you are currently watching. Well, besides Blue Exorcist, Fairy Tail. And then besides that, I think that I'm gonna restart Rising with the Shield Hero because, you know, or Rising of the Shield Hero because that also just got a season 3. What's an anime that you absolutely have to finish? Well, besides the obvious, like, 3 things that I'm watching. Because, you know, Fairy Tail, I need to see if my ships are confirmed. Demon Slayer, because I want to see Muzan Kibuchiji get his comeuppance. And then, like, I need to see how the whole thing works out with the massive turtle in Rising of the Shield Hero, and I want to see what kind of hijinks they get into in season 3. Like, it's just, yeah. This last summer was like the summer of movies for me. There were a whole bunch of releases, but this summer I think is going to be the summer of anime. And then last but not least, number 40, anime quotes. Jiraiya Sensei from Naruto Shippuden has a lot of them, but this one is probably one of my stronger ones that I think of. My duty is to be a model for the next generation and to set a good example for them. And I feel like if a lot more of us were to live by those words, the world would not be the cluster F that it is right now. Well, that is it, y'all. 40 anime tag questions. It is about to hit 2 o'clock. My shift starts in 45 minutes, so I have to cut you loose. I have to get something to eat and then prep my workspace for my actual work. But yeah, thank you so much to all my 250 and counting subscribers. I love y'all. Enablers Outpost, I love you. I did not mean to do that with my pen. It was a total accident. I am going to crawl underneath my desk and I'm going to find the missing piece and I'm going to try to put it back together. All right. Well, gotta get out of here, guys. Bye.